Gumbo Malone was watching a manatee scratch its belly on his anchor line when Bitsy Vanderbilt Spieth came clicking down the dock in heels that could have been used as ice picks. She was one of those women who collected charity galas the way some people collected stamps, and her orange spray tan made her look like she'd been dipped in Cheetos dust. "Mr. Malone, I need your help immediately." She clutched a martini glass like it was a life preserver. "Someone stole my lobster." "Your dinner got away?" No. Lawrence the Lobster. He was the star of tonight's charity auction for the Cedar Key Yacht Club's Save the Manatees Fund. I put my late husband's $100,000 Rolex on his claw as a publicity stunt. People were bidding on dates with Lawrence. Gumbo blinked. "You put $100,000 watch on a lobster?" It was going to be such a sensation. The local news was there. The society photographer, she took a gulp of her martini. But when I went to check on him 20 minutes ago, Lawrence was gone. Tank and all. Someone stole an entire lobster tank. That's what I thought, but then I found this. She pulled out a soggy business card that read, "Sal's Seafood Fresh Catch," daily in faded letters. The yacht club was a monument to bad taste and old money, all white columns and fake Greek statues. The charity auction was in full swing on the back terrace, with blue-haired ladies in pearls bidding on golf lessons and weekend getaways. But in the corner, where the lobster tank should have been, there was just a wet spot on the marble and a very confused-looking security guard. "I only left for 5 minutes," the guard said. "Had to hit the can. When I came back, whole setup was gone. Tank, lobster, and all." "Yeah, but here's the weird part. They left the dolly." Gumbo looked at the abandoned hand truck. It was still dripping seawater, and there was a business card tucked under the bungee cord. Same as the one Bitsy had found, but this one had a phone number. "You call this Sal character." Went straight to voicemail, but I got his address from the phone book. Bitsy wobbled slightly. He's got a little shack down by the fish market. 20 minutes later, Gumbo was standing outside a weathered building that looked like it had been built from driftwood and wishful thinking. A hand-painted sign read, "Sal's Seafood. If it swims, we got it." Through the window, he could see a short, round man in a stained apron arguing with a woman in a cocktail dress. The woman looked familiar. Gumbo pushed through the door just as the woman was saying, "I told you, Sal, I need that specific lobster back, the one with the jewelry." She turned around, and Gumbo recognized her immediately. Janet Fitzpatrick, Bitsy's sister, and the black sheep of the family. She'd been disinherited 3 years ago for running off with her tennis instructor. Well, Gumbo said, "Small world." Janet's face went through several interesting color changes. "This isn't what it looks like, really, because it looks like you hired Sal here to steal your sister's lobster so you could get the watch." Sal, who'd been trying to blend into the background, suddenly developed a keen interest in his shoes. "I just picked up a lobster tank like she asked. Didn't know nothing about no jewelry. Where's Lawrence now, back there in the holding tank? But listen, I already took the watch off." Thing was too heavy for the poor guy. In the back room, Lawrence was scuttling around a plastic tub, looking remarkably relaxed for a crustacean who'd just been part of a heist. The Rolex sat on the counter, still dripping seawater. "You know," Gumbo said to Janet, "if you'd just waited another hour, someone probably would have bid enough to buy Lawrence, and you could have gotten the watch legitimately. Have you met my sister? She would have found a way to keep both the lobster and the watch, probably would have had Lawrence stuffed and mounted. So you figured you'd steal him first. I prefer to think of it as a rescue mission. With benefits." Sal cleared his throat. "What about my fee?" "What fee?" Janet snapped. "I'm about to get arrested because you left your business cards at the crime scene. Hey, I'm proud of my work. Besides, how was I supposed to know you were planning to steal from your own family?" Gumbo shook his head. "You know what the really crazy part is? Lawrence is probably the smartest one in this whole operation." As if on cue, the lobster waved a claw at them. An hour later, Gumbo was back at the yacht club, watching Bitsy reunite with Lawrence while the police led Janet away in handcuffs. The charity auction was still going strong, and Lawrence's adventure had only increased the bidding. "You know," Bitsy said, fastening the Rolex back onto Lawrence's claw, "I think this whole experience has given him character. Look how he's posing for the cameras." Gumbo looked at the lobster, who seemed to be enjoying his 15 minutes of fame. "Yeah, he's a real natural." The final bid for a dinner date with Lawrence came in at $12,000, which was more than most people's cars were worth. But in Cedar Key, stranger things had happened. Usually on Tuesdays,